Oh, hello. Welcome to Gourmet, the channel where I cook my way through all the cookbooks I own and have never used. We are still working with Delicious Disney, where we'll be making a shrimp scampi with orange harissa. Now, I think this is going to be probably another quick one, but I love like a harissa chicken, and I thought, why not try an orange harissa shrimp scampi? The downside is this recipe does not come with a side. It's literally just how to make the harissa, and then you cook shrimp. So I'm going to be making a couscous. I'll kind of show you what I'm doing, but I'm honestly not following a recipe. So if that turns out bad, that's on me. That's on nobody else. And just to remind everybody what the channel is, so I own all these cookbooks, and we're just cooking our way through one recipe at a time. We're rating the recipes on how easy they are to follow, how easy the ingredients were to find, sometimes how cheap they were. If they're really expensive, I throw that in. And then, how the recipe came out. So that's kind of the rubric we're working with. But let's get this one started. Okay, so to start this one, I've decided to actually make my own roasted red peppers. You can just buy the roasted red peppers from the store. Even the recipe says that. But since this isn't the most involved recipe, I wanted to make my own. I thought that was the only way to do this right. So we've got our two peppers sitting here. I'm going to go ahead and slice the tops off. And then I'm going to try my best to just kind of go in here with my knife and get out the middle with all the seeds as much as possible. We did okay. We did great as far as seeds are concerned. Let's be honest. The recipe says to cut the peppers in halves, so that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to lay each half on here. I think we'll just snack on these later. I'm going to spray them with Pam. It doesn't say that, but I realized I don't want them to stick on the tinfoil that much, so that's fine. If they get a little blistery, they get a little bit blistery. I'm going to put my broil on, I guess high. That's fine, right? Yeah, then we'll put on high. And then these are going to go in the oven for who knows how long, but until the skin is black. That's what we're looking for. So, I'm not going to lie. I have no idea how long these have been in the oven. Reason being, I stuck them in the oven on broil and never actually started the broil. So, yeah, who knows how long they've been in there. But we're just putting these in a bowl. And then we have some saran wrap to the side. And we are going to cover these in saran wrap and let them sit for about 20 minutes. So, let's get these guys uncovered. And basically, we're going to peel off the skin and pop them into our blending cup. If we did this right, the skin should be pretty easy to peel off, which it feels like it is. These smell, look, it's a red pepper, right? But it smells great. I love a good roasted red pepper. And it's just always amazing how easy they are to do at home. That's not that I do it all the time, but I do like doing it. Oh, and then it gets to this part, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I feel like, yeah, you're supposed to get all the skin off, but sometimes the skin just sticks on there. And it's a little hard to get off. So I'm going to call that one done. That was relatively painless. Let's get this one. This is a Orange Harissa, and I was looking online, and most harissas don't include that orange citrus. So I'm interested to see. Now, obviously, I don't know much about harissa. I've never made one before, so this is honestly, this whole thing is why I picked this recipe. Let's be honest. I said that in the beginning, and I'm still sticking to it. I'm excited to try, but I need 2 garlic cloves. So these are just the garlic cloves I have. I They were on sale at this grocery store, so I bought them. I don't, we use minced garlic. We don't normally use whole garlic cloves, but I'm just going to put 2 cloves in there. Okay, well, that's not what I wanted. As much as I like garlic, um, that's not at all what I wanted. That's what I get for doing it straight in here. Okay, there's 2. We need a half teaspoon of salt. So, does that look like a half teaspoon? Sure. We need a teaspoon of ground cumin. So this is the cumin I have just from the store. Nothing special. Let's find our teaspoon because for some reason I once again took out all of the measuring spoons and not just the one I needed. Oh, it's not open. How fun. I have 2 of these. Let me get teaspoon. And then we need a half teaspoon of ground coriander. This is brand new. I had to buy this one today. I don't cook a lot with these kinds of spices, but it's one of those things that I don't cook a lot with them, but I like them. And I did a half teaspoon. There we go. Let's put that cap back on. And I am making this ahead of time, so once this is done, we're kind of finished for a little while. We just let that sit. I thought it would be better to make this ahead so that we could have it sit. I think that's the way to go. We need a quarter cup of olive oil. Where's the cap? Here we go. This is just the Bertolli Sustainable Olive Oil. I don't know. It's on sale. You know how we are. Buy what's on sale. And then we need 3 tablespoons of orange juice and a half teaspoon of orange zest. So I've got my orange here. I'm just going to go ahead and take my little microplane. And we're going to zest until we feel like we have a half teaspoon. Just looking at the half teaspoon below. That looks right? Sure. And then I am going to roll out the orange. And I think my tablespoon is... Well, it's not out. So I don't actually know where the tablespoon is already. I'm pretty sure it's in the dishwasher. I'm just going to take my orange and over the measuring cup. I don't know. Oh, this is not a juicy orange at all. Oof. This is not going well. But that's enough. That was so much harder than I thought. And then we need a quarter teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Here's the red pepper flakes I'm using. I'll be good and measure. This is optional, but I think we should do it. There we go. And now we're just going to blend this up. Okay. Oops. Ooh, that smells so good. Oh, that's delicious. Okay, so that's our harissa sauce. I'm going to cover this. I'm going to let it sit in the fridge for a little bit and kind of set up for our couscous. Basically, so this is the couscous I bought. It's this Rice Select Pearl couscous. The recipe book, like I said earlier, doesn't give you a side. Like, this is truly just the shrimps with the orange harissa sauce. But it does suggest making couscous or rice or what is the other one? Bulgur wheat. But I like couscous, so that's what I'm going with. I've got a cup and a half of water. I'm truly I'm following. Can you see? I'm following the directions here, which I don't normally do. I normally just kind of eyeball stuff, but why not follow the recipe here? It's a new thing. So I've got 1.5 cups of water in here waiting to boil. Once it boils, we'll add in some salt and a drizzle of olive oil. It says a teaspoon of butter or olive oil, and the salt is a half teaspoon. Both of those are optional, but I figure why not go ahead and do it. And then we are going to pour in a cup of the pearl couscous, give it a stir, cover with lid, reduce heat to low, and simmer 8 to 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. And that's supposed to yield 2 cups of couscous. So, okay, I think our water is just about boiling, so I'm going to take the lid off, and I'm just going to go ahead and... What was I doing? Adding in a drizzle of olive oil. I'm going to add in some salt. Sure, that'll be good. And then let us just go ahead and measure out a cup of couscous. That's a lot of, that's more than I thought. Let's get that in there. Make sure we get as much out of here as possible. I know there's one on the stove. Oh, I'm just chasing it around. Oh, can we get it out? Can we? It's now in the oven crack. Oh, we got it. Perfect. I'm going to give that a stir. And then, like the directions say, we'll go ahead and reduce heat to low and cover. Couscous is done. I guess I should have stirred it more because some stuck to the bottom. Oh well. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in a little bit of lemon juice. And then I'm going to add in some garlic. I don't know if this is like sacrilege or not to do, but I thought it would just taste good. I'm going to add in a little bit of olive oil. And then I'm going to tear on what? I am going to take some parsley leaves and just kind of tear them into this. I just thought this would be good, you know? And then I think the last thing I'm going to do before I set this to the side and get ready for the shrimp is add in some more pepper. Maybe add in a little salt. And give it a stir. From what I read online, having this, like, aside for... I was looking at harissa chicken because nobody was making harissa shrimp. But adding to the side of harissa chicken, they were doing like lighter, fluffier, like not lighter, fluffier, like lighter in flavor things. And so that's what I figured I would do here. It's supposed to like help cut down the heat of the harissa, although I don't think ours is going to be very hot. I think it's pretty mild. Just because, you know, it is a Disney recipe. It's not like somebody else is making it. They have to kind of what's the word? Tend to the masses. So yeah, but I'm gonna let that sit to the back. Okay, so let's get ready for our shrimp. I've got my burner on. I just bought pre-peeled shrimp from the grocery store. I got a pound. The recipe calls for 12 shrimp, but I thought the shrimp wasn't that expensive, so I just got 12 and their tail on. So I got a pound, not just 12. I got a pound, their tail on, so that's what we're going to cook with. I've got my butter here, and we are heating this in our skillet. It's 2 tablespoons of butter. The recipe says to melt the butter in a saute pan over high heat and then cook the shrimp. Oh, no, sorry. That's my bad. I'm reading this opposite. Sometimes I swear that I can't read. I think that's what all the insurance tests have done to me. Those books were so boring that now I go to read things. I'm like, what if I fell asleep instead? Okay, we melt our butter over high heat, which is what we're doing. We are going to stir in our harissa. So the recipe calls for about 2 tablespoons. This is our harissa. It's been sitting in the fridge. I'm just kind of going to... That's more than 2 tablespoons, but I have way more than 12 shrimp. I forgot what the number was. I'm going to stir in the harissa. Oh my gosh, guys, this smells so good. Woo-hoo. And now I'm just going to go ahead and pour in my shrimp. Let's go ahead. I kept the tails on. You can keep tails on or off, but this is kind of how they were. These are, I know the package said they were pre-frozen, like pre-prepared shrimp. Honestly, that's fine with me. I can't say that I really care. Um, and you know what would be fun, and I think the recipe maybe means for this, but I didn't do it because it wasn't at the store, is for like those big, like, you know, those like really big, I think they're like tiger prawns or something. I bet those would be really good in this. And if I could get 12 of those, I would, but that spot was empty, so I didn't even bother asking. But we're going to cook these about 3 to 5 minutes. It says until the shrimp are firm, pink, and slightly opaque. So I want to ask if anybody in the comments knows why they would consider this a shrimp scampi. I was doing some research, and like, of course, a shrimp scampi is kind of like shrimp prepared in like butter, garlic, and white wine. But I don't know, you know, what I was kind of confused by was why they would consider this a scampi instead of sauteed shrimp. And maybe it's just like a thing of people know what scampi is, and so this feels like a fun play when you do like harissa. I don't know. I was just kind of curious. So if anybody knows the answer to that in the comments and can find it better on Google than I can, let me know. But so I think our shrimp is pretty much done. I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to keep stirring these guys a little bit. But when you see me next, it'll be ready to enjoy, which I am excited about because it smells really good. Okay, so it's time to try it. Let me show you what the dish looks like first, what I did with it. So here is our shrimp scampi with orange harissa and our couscous. It's our lemon garlic couscous at the bottom. I went ahead and topped with some parsley as well. I don't know. It said cilantro, but I'm one of those people that I think cilantro tastes like soap, so I wasn't gonna do cilantro. I did parsley, but let me grab my fork. And one of these didn't have a tail on it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's here is our bite. I guess it does still have kind of a tail. It's pretty good. It's definitely not my favorite. The sauce, I don't know. I think it really doesn't have the same punch that it did when I tried it on its own. And I don't know what that's about. The couscous, I gotta say, is pretty good. I'm proud of myself on that. This one's kind of disappointing a little bit. I think, like, it was easy, right? It was very easy. The ingredients were cheap. Even the shrimp, I think it was under $10 for all that shrimp. Okay, there's a. It's just disappointing because it's not as good as the individual ingredients were. So I think maybe this one gets a 6.5, a 7, 6.5. We are gonna try it. I'm gonna take another bite off camera, and we're gonna try it with the Kim Crawford New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc that I accidentally used in another video. But we're gonna try it with this. So I'm gonna take another bite. Okay, I gotta say the wine works really well with it. And I went ahead and added more of the sauce on it. And maybe it's because I'm a sauce person that I really want that flavor. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a 7 because the ingredients were easy to find. Nothing was too expensive. The recipe was really easy to follow. It was easy to make this ahead of time, and maybe that's where I went wrong. Like, maybe I should have let it sit longer than I did. I let it sit for about, well, maybe 45 minutes total, the sauce, after we made it. And maybe I should have let it sit longer. I don't know. I don't know. But I want more impact on this one. Just because it smells so good, but it kind of doesn't taste as good. But that's okay. You live and you learn, right? So I think we'll call this one a 7. We'll move on. It's still a good recipe. It's just, I think it can be amped up a little bit. Sadly, it's no longer the restaurant. This one comes from Narcoossee's. I don't know if I mentioned that, but Narcoossee's at the Grand Floridium. I looked at the menu. It's no longer there, so maybe this is why. But but I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.